getting ready to, as soon as it's dry, it's ready to harvest. Then I have rutabaga over here, which I have been harvesting each stalk as it's dried. I'm out here in the garden a few days ago, and I'm looking at this, and I notice that I pulled the hose through here, and I noticed that all of a sudden I have shattered rutabaga seed all over the ground, which is a good sign that I have waited too long. Because now, this fall, I'm going to have baby rutabaga plants growing all over this pathway.
Right.
Okay, so that's not the way to save seed. So I come out here and I grab my bag and I start putting them in the bag, and while I'm in the house I think, now I've got to remember to label this, and I'm thinking about too many things, and so I write on the bag, Danish ballhead. And then I come over to the rutabaga and I put all the rutabaga in, and I don't even notice for 2 more days that I have mislabeled this plant. So this is just a cautionary tale. Pay attention to what you're doing, because if I go around next year thinking I'm growing Danish ballhead cabbage out of this and it all turns into rutabaga, I'm going to be quite surprised. Right? Okay, so what we're going to do is take the ones that are dry or very nearly dry. Now you can tell that this one, for example, is still quite dark green. So these seeds are not ready. But this is more, well, I don't know. That's,
how about this one's pretty good here?
Oh, this one's very good, yeah. So we could take this one off of here. And we've got to do this before that happens. That's what our goal is. And we're just going to put this upside down in this bag. And then they will shatter themselves and the seed will collect in the bottom of the bag. Here's another one. You can see that this one has already begun to shatter. You can see right here that I have lost seed onto the ground. This is a seed pod right here. If we break this open, there's our little black rutabaga seed. And now those, every one that shatters, I'm going to have rutabaga seed growing all over in this bed. It's going to be all over the pathway, so that's not where we want to see.
How long does it take them to shatter in the bag?
I would leave them in there for about 2 weeks. As soon as they're totally dry, then they will begin
to grow rutabaga? Is that something that could be planted now and you'd have it?
Rutabaga only likes to grow in the fall. Oh. So see, that one is dry. That one's very dry. Rutabaga does not do well in the spring. It does not like the summer at all. It only likes to be grown in the fall. So these were planted last fall. We harvested rutabaga, our first rutabaga on Thanksgiving Day.
So like when in the fall? I know you have a short season.
I planted these in September from seed. And then we harvested our first one on Thanksgiving Day. We had more on Christmas. We had some in between. And then the rest, I left a few in the ground so that they could, just left them unprotected all winter so that they could grow into seed.
Remember, as a root vegetable, it's the second season.
And this is a variety called Joan, by the way.
How do you eat it? Okay, that's like, would you put it in soup?
My favorite thing to do with rutabaga is take equal parts rutabaga, carrot, and potato, boil them in the same pot, mash them together. It makes the best mashed potatoes that you have ever tasted. Bright orange color. Fantastic sweet flavor.
How many plants do you need to pollinate each other?
You need about a dozen.
Although you mentioned about second generation.
Second season. The root vegetables, you don't get seed the first year that you plant. So you see, he said he left some in the ground. He harvested, he left some in the ground. They grew in the spring, and now we have seed.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get those 3?
That one's got to go right there.
I'll get them when we get back and we'll share it with carrots, rutabaga, potatoes.
Oops. Well, that whole one.
Eventually, a few years down the road, we'll have a cookbook, right? Everyone will submit their best recipes, because we do want to eat all this. And just grow it.
Now, this will be okay because I pulled it up at the root. I'm going to leave it out here in the sun and let it finish. Yeah, let's take that one. Let's just take that whole thing. See, and this was fascinating too because rutabagas are about this big and they're kind of purple on top and they're yellow on the inside, but these, the deer ate the tops off of all of these. Oh. And they still lasted through the winter and sprouted. Okay. Now, let's see, the Swiss chard is not ready. And then I wanted to show you these. These are some of the green jewel romaine. I picked them after the first fluffies began to appear, and they have been in this sack for about 3 weeks drying. All of the rest of them open up, and then you can shatter this head, and these are the seeds right there.
Can you tip your hand for me, Caleb?
Those little pods. Can you see those right
Can
there?
you tip it down a little bit for me? There we
Those
go.
are the lettuce seeds right there.
Teeny tiny.
So again, we're just leaving them in the bag. And
So
then
how long will you leave them in the bag for?
I'll leave them in the bag until everything is totally dry.
And then
So
you'll
this has
harvest out
been in
the...
this bag for 3 weeks,
Okay.
and then I can harvest it.
And then
So
you'll
have
put
time
them
to
into a
deal with
little baggie or something, and
Uh-huh.
and
I'll put them into a paper envelope and put them in with the rest of my seeds.
in a cool
And
storage
all of the rest of the stuff will go into the compost pit.
freezer.
Yeah,
Does
if you're
somebody
doing
say?
long-term storage, you can put them in the freezer.
So long term.
Couple of years fridge.
No, long-term is several years. If you
Okay.
just need
Couple
them for
years
next year,
fridge is
you can
okay.
just leave them out.
Yeah.
So that one's not totally dry yet, but there's some baby Osaka purple mustard seed.
Do you leave your bags in the garage?
I've been leaving them in the shed until they're dry, until I'm ready to deal with them. Now see, I'm going to have to come back out and keep an eye on this, and then those mustards are just about to go, so I've got to keep an eye on them and come out, and then I've got my onions that are about ready to go, and those are about ready to go, and you can see my winter wheat is just finishing, so probably Monday or Tuesday I'll be able to take all of that off of there, and then there's more lettuce over here. Everything that was here over the winter is now in full seed in this garden.
So there's no more of this rutabaga that's ready to pick right now.
No. No, this
Still
is-
green. Has to
this
be
is
all brown.
Still too dry. This is still too green. We need it to dry a little bit more.
Same things we talked about with the peas, right?
The same thing we
All
talked
dry
about with
out.
the peas. And this one that I accidentally pulled up by the root, I will just leave that there for a few days and let it dry. It has enough nutrients in it that it will dry slowly. The germination on this will be about half of what the germination is on this. But it will still work.
Do you plant your winter wheat about the same time as September?
September,
Most of-
October, plant the
most of
winter
them are
wheat,
right in
right.
there.
And the summer wheat, which is just sticking out its heads right now, I planted about a month-ish ago.
You don't have to protect it?
No, winter wheat does not need any protection over the winter.
Is that enough wheat to do anything with though? I mean, like if you're going to
That's
bake a
9 to
loaf.
12 cups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's 9 to 12
It's a loaf
cups
of bread.
wheat.
How do you winnow it?
I can winnow it by hand. I'll winnow it by hand. I bought a winnowing machine. I found a winnowing machine at an antique store and I bought it.
What's
So I'm going to
winnowing?
be doing that because I'm getting more and more. But normally what I do is I take those, I cut that all off at the, I cut each of the head off at the top, and then I cut the straw off at the bottom because I save all the straw. My scarecrow is, my dead scarecrow is stuffed with my straw, or else I put it in here, or else I use it for my potatoes. And then I take all of the seed heads with leather gloves on and go like this and break them up and then put them in a cloth and either stomp on them or rub them, and then I go stand up on the balcony and dump and put a tablecloth on the ground below and dump them off of the balcony, and the chaff goes this way and the seed goes straight down.
Did you set them in front of a fan?
If you had a fan that was on very gently, otherwise you're going to have wheat
Blow
all
everywhere.
over everywhere and chaff everywhere. So we're in the full swing of seed saving. That's it.